America's AI power crisis, why 50% of data centers planned for 2026 are canceled or delayed. 1. The paradox. The race for United States leadership in AI has encountered a tangible wall composed not of software bugs, but of steel, copper, and imported circuit breakers. While the United States dominates the digital Moore's law cycle with advanced chips from manufacturers like NVIDIA, it is failing to solve the mid-20th century challenge of power delivery. The central contradiction is that while flagship GPU lead times have stabilized at 8 to 20 weeks, the large power transformers, LPT, required to energize them are quoting lead times of 80 to 210 weeks. We cannot simply turn on the compute resources we already have because the United States lacks the electrical infrastructure to plug them in. Decades of underinvestment have left the grid buckling under new loads, with long connection queues effectively destroying the possibility of the national grid finding balance. In major hubs like Northern Virginia, the wait for a grid connection can now stretch to 7 years, meaning the world's most expensive GPUs remain stranded assets without a guaranteed power supply. 2. The single element failure. The United States build-out is currently defined by a heavy dependency on specialized Chinese components, specifically high-power transformers, medium-voltage switchgear, and battery energy storage systems, BESS. China currently supplies over half of the United States' imports of BESS and low-voltage transformers. Even more granularly, the industry is seeing a shortage in tantalum capacitors, which are essential for AI servers to fully unlock computational power but have construction cycles for new production lines lasting up to 24 months. China remains the world's largest producer of the unglamorous gear that actually delivers power to server racks, and it currently controls approximately 60% of global transformer manufacturing capacity. 3. The supply chain trap. The timeline for critical grid components has shifted from a manageable delay to a project-killing cycle. Pre-2020, lead times for high-power transformers were typically 24 to 30 months. Today, that window has expanded to 5 years, while the typical deployment cycle for an AI data center is under 18 months. United States manufacturers like GE Vernova or Siemens cannot simply ramp up to fill this gap due to several structural traps. Raw material monopoly. Transformers require grain-oriented electrical steel GOES for their cores, but the United States relies on a single domestic producer, Cleveland-Cliffs Butler Works, whose expansion will not be fully operational until July 2028. This leaves the United States 85% dependent on foreign GOES mills. The labor vacuum. There is a critical lack of manufacturing talent and a broken pipeline for training relevant skills, leading to situations where 80-year-old nuclear technicians are being asked to return to work. Capital hesitancy. Manufacturers are wary of the industry's historic cyclicality and refuse to invest heavily in capacity expansion without a guaranteed 20-year runway of consistent demand. 4. The tariff dilemma. Trade barriers designed to incentivize domestic production are currently acting as invisible taxes that inflate the cost of the only gear available. Data center operators paid more than $6 billion in tariffs on imported components in 2025 alone. Section 301 and Section 232 tariffs on Chinese electrical equipment and GOES steel have reached as high as 145% and have driven construction cost inflation of 15% to 25% for electrical infrastructure. This financial burden directly impairs the path to profitability for hyperscalers. Developers are faced with a choice: pay triple-digit percentage tariffs to get Chinese gear now, or wait 5 years for domestic supply that doesn't yet exist. This uncertainty has created a bifurcated market where only the largest, best-capitalized developers can afford to warehouse transformer inventory speculatively, while smaller firms are forced to delay or cancel projects outright. 5. The competitive threat. In the long-term AI race, the decisive metric has shifted from compute per watt to speed to power. The United States is struggling with a massive delivery gap. While approximately 12 gigawatts to 16 gigawatts of data center capacity was slated to come online in 2026, only one-third of that capacity is currently under active construction. Consequently, close to half of all planned United States data center builds this year are expected to be delayed or canceled. In contrast, China is rapidly electrifying its economy, adding more hydro, nuclear, and renewable generation in a single year than Germany's total annual power consumption. Chinese data centers are completed 6 to 16 months faster than those in the United States due to streamlined permitting and faster grid connections. While United States load interconnection requests have swelled to 2,600 gigawatts, the grid remains in a state of permanent imbalance, ceding the critical infrastructure advantage to Beijing.